In this video, I want to discuss using multiplication and division to solve equations. Alright, you may recall that we talked about how you have to keep an equation quote-unquote balanced, and as long as you add and subtract things from both sides, it'll still be what the expression on each side, what it evaluates to, will still both sides will still evaluate to the same number. Okay, so the same thing is true with multiplication and division. Let me show you how that can be useful. So let's say you had 2x equals 10. Okay, so twice a number is equal to 10. Now, you're probably smart enough to know that the number that you multiply by 2 to get 10 is 5. All right. Now, that might be clear here, but you're going to soon see other equations where it's not going to be so obvious. All right. So let's pretend you didn't know that the answer is 5. So what would you do? Well, you would remember what I said about the fact that you have to do the same thing to both sides to keep it balanced. So one thing you could do is multiply both sides by 1/2. All right. So if I multiply both sides by 1/2, on the left side, 1/2 times 2, that just gives 1. 1 times x. On the right side, half of 10, that gives 5. So that's the same as x equal to 5. All right. Now, I multiplied by 1/2. I could just as well have divided by 2, and I would have got the same thing. Okay. On the left, I have what? I have 2 divided by 2. Well, we know that that's just 1. And then on the right, I have 10 divided by 2. We know that that's 5. So that also gives x equal to 5. All right. So there's an example of multiplying and dividing to solve equations. Now, I would remind you that you can check your solutions by plugging it in to the original equation. So the original in this example that we had was 2x equals 10, and indeed if you multiply 5 by 2 you get 10, so we know that that's correct. Alright, let's do a few more examples. Okay, so this is going to involve some combination of not just multiplication or division, but also what you learned before, addition and subtraction. So for the first one, I wouldn't immediately multiply or divide. I would first combine the 2x and the 12x to get a 14x. Okay? Now would be a good time to divide. I would divide both sides by 14, and voila, we get x equal to 2. See how nicely that worked out? Alright, let's do the next one. So on the next one, I would combine the 6x and the minus 2x to get a 4x. Now I would subtract 2x from both sides in this case. So that would give 2x equals 60. And then I would divide both sides by 2. And that would give x equals 30. So those are great examples of using the arithmetic operations to simplify an equation. Okay, and then again, you could check by plugging into the original. I highly recommend that because it's easy to make mistakes with solving equations. So on the first one, let's see if it works. 2 times 2 plus 12 times 2. That's 4 plus 24, which is 28. And that equals the right side. All right, let's do the second one. 6 times 30 minus 2 times 30. let's see, does that equal, so we'll put a question mark, does that equal 2 times 30 plus 60? The left side gives 180 minus 60. The right side gives 60 plus 60. The left side gives 120 and the right side gives 120. So we're happy. Okay? Now, let me give you another option you could use besides multiplying and dividing. Watch this observation. Okay? This is called distributing. If I have 5 times 4 plus 2, okay, I can certainly simplify the parenthesis. The 4 plus 2 gives 6, so the answer is 30. On the other hand, watch this. I could also take the 5 and put it in front of both of the guys inside the parenthesis. Now what would that give? 5 times 4 is 20 plus 10. Notice that gives the same thing. See that? So just FYI, this might just be like a little cute observation now, but later on we'll find that this has some other uses. All right? I could do like x times y plus z, and using this trick that I showed you, that would equal x in front of the y, that product, plus the product of x and z added to that. Okay? This is called distributing, because you think of it as the number in front of the parenthesis. You're distributing it. You're putting it in front of everything inside the parenthesis. Okay? So you may want to use that as you're solving these equations. It's a choice. You don't have to, but just file this in the back of your mind that there is another way to solve it.